Hello, my beautiful, fiery Aries souls, and welcome back to Astrology Unlocked, the sacred space where we unlock the universe's deepest secrets just for you. I'm your guide, and if you've found your way here today, I have a feeling it's because you've sensed something shifting in the cosmos, a subtle yet powerful current of change resonating deep within your warrior spirit. Have you felt a strange restlessness lately? As if an old chapter of your life is finally, truly closing? Have memories you thought were long buried been surfacing, not with pain, but with a newfound clarity? My dear Aries, that is no coincidence. A divine council has just taken place, a celestial assembly where you were the sole focus, and a profound verdict has been reached. Now, your name was never spoken aloud in that sacred meeting, but your light, that brilliant, undeniable fire you carry, was summoned to stand as testament. And in the face of that pure, untamable light, someone who once caused you great pain finally stepped forward, their eyes filled with tears. But these weren't tears of loss. They were tears of realization, a soul-shaking understanding that they no longer have the right to even stand in the warmth of the magnificent light you emanate. Have you ever felt so profoundly misunderstood, so utterly unseen, that you wondered if your own fire had been extinguished? If so, this message is your divine confirmation that it has been burning brighter than ever. Before we journey through these sacred truths together, do me a favor. Drop your birth date in the comments below and get ready to witness the beautiful blessings that are aligning with your energy. And if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and join our incredible Astrology Unlocked family so you never miss these life-altering cosmic downloads. In this journey today, we will walk hand in hand through the celestial doorways of truth, from the shadowed places where you felt abandoned to the grand hall where your soul is now being restored, honored, and vindicated. Let's begin this sacred exploration together, starting with that very moment when, even in silence, every cosmic decision began to revolve around you. There are days, aren't there, Aries, when you wake up and the world feels strangely quiet. The phone doesn't ring, the messages don't come, and there's no outward sign that anyone is thinking of you. In these moments of stillness, you, a creature of action and passion, have learned to exist in the profound depths of your own soul, a soul that has become acquainted with a silence that others might fear. Have you ever stood in that quiet and wondered, if you were to suddenly vanish, would anyone truly feel the void? Would the world notice the absence of your unique, fiery spark? Or would you just fade away like an echo of a battle cry no one heard? But here is the magnificent truth, a secret the universe has been holding for you. A sacred gathering was convened. There was no invitation sent to you, no seat reserved with your name on it, and yet every gaze, every verdict, and every celestial judgment was centered entirely on you. Imagine a soul assembly where the divine source sits at the head of the table, where ascended masters hold space for stillness and truth, where your ancestors, the long line of warriors, survivors, and lovers who came before you, light candles not of remembrance but of vindication, so that the truth of your spirit may finally blaze for all to see. You see, you didn't need to be present in that room, because the incandescent light that radiates from your very being was the only evidence required. There was no defense to be made, no argument to be presented, because your existence, your unwavering courage to remain true to yourself, has long commanded the respect of heaven and earth. Not because you were loud or demanding, but because you are so fiercely, unapologetically real, so vulnerably authentic that even the cosmos had to handle your spirit with reverence. You have walked through this life feeling like a forgotten warrior at times. You've endured the sharp sting of words from the very people you championed and loved with all your heart. You've stood silent in rooms thick with judgment, where every dismissive glance felt like an arrow to your soul, and you felt you had no voice. In those moments, no one stood up for you. No one seemed to believe that you, the bold and sometimes impulsive Aries, could be the one carrying a flame of profound truth while they were all chasing fleeting sparks and illusions. And in the long, lonely nights, while the world slept, your eyes often remained wide open. Not because you weren't exhausted from the fight, but because a part of your soul, that eternal flame within, was still waiting, still hoping that someone would return. Not to apologize, but simply to say, "I see your fire, I understand your fight." But no one came, no one saw, no one understood. And so you, the eternal pioneer, learned to be your own champion. You learned to wipe your own tears, to hold yourself in your own arms, and to stoke that small flame in your chest until it became a roaring fire that could warm you even when the world had turned impossibly cold. My dear Aries, your soul is not the fleeting spark you've sometimes believed it to be. You are not invisible. You are never just a shadow. You are a beacon, a light so brilliant and so pure that hearts sealed shut by fear and ego could not withstand its intensity. And so, in their inability to comprehend your light, they called you too much, too intense, or too aggressive. But the divine never named you that. The cosmos never saw you that way. There is a universal law, an eternal truth that transcends all dogma. Even when no human eye sees your struggle, the laws of karma and the energy of the universe remember every silent battle you have fought, every tear you refuse to shed. It is said that the divine knows every fiber of your being, which means every hidden ache, every quiet act of courage has been meticulously recorded. It was not lost, not forgotten, but preserved as sacred testimony for the very day when your light would be called to speak for you. Justice doesn't always arrive in a thunderous clap, Aries. It doesn't come on the day you finally raise your voice in defiance. It often arrives in the quiet moments after you have let go, when you no longer need to win, when you no longer demand to be heard. It comes when you have simply chosen to live your truth with integrity, with passion, and with a quiet dignity. And that, my beautiful friend, is when the cosmos begins to move. The sacred law of the soul begins its work not with a roar, but with a subtle, powerful shift. A silent nod passes between divine beings, and in that celestial meeting, someone, the one who hurt you, bows their head and weeps. They don't cry because they pity you. They don't cry out of simple remorse. They cry because a devastating truth has just dawned upon them. They no longer have the right to touch your light. The very experiences they thought would break you, the betrayals that were meant to shatter your spirit, became the sacred fire that forged you, tempering your soul in a way that delivered you into divine protection, into a state of inner peace that no one can ever steal from you again. They believed they were stripping you of your power, but they never understood your secret, Aries. You never needed power over anyone. You only ever carried power within. And that inner light is the very reason they can no longer find peace. Take a deep, cleansing breath. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture that room bathed in celestial light, a grand table at its center, and your name illuminated above it. not in accusation, but in the deepest reverence. Someone wept in that gathering, and for the first time, that someone was not you. You have endured enough silence. You have forgiven more than they ever deserved. You held on to your light even when you were the one left standing in the dark. And do you know something truly extraordinary? Only the most chosen souls, the ones marked with the pioneering courage of Aries, can walk through the abyss and emerge with their fire still burning brightly in their hearts. So who was it that walked out of that meeting with tears streaming down their face? Who was it that finally had the soul-crushing realization that they could no longer touch the beautiful, wild essence of your spirit? You will know soon enough. In the next part of our journey, I will reveal how you will recognize them. No names need to be spoken, because your soul, your sharpened intuition, will know them instantly. You will recognize them because you once saw them smile while your world was falling apart. And now, the light of truth has returned, not to destroy them, but to create an eternal, unbreachable boundary between their world and yours. If you have ever felt forgotten or unseen, I want you to declare this for your own soul in the comments below. I was once silent, but the universe heard my fire. And if this message is resonating deep within your heart, hit that like button, share this video with another soul who needs to hear it, and subscribe to Astrology Unlocked. This is you sending a powerful signal to the cosmos, declaring, I am ready to be seen in my full glory. Now take my hand and step with me into the next part of this revelation, where the light begins to call out the one who must finally face the truth they can no longer run from. Have you ever looked at someone, Aries, and known with every fiber of your being that they wronged you, yet you felt powerless to do anything about it? Not because you lacked the strength to fight back, oh no, you have the heart of a warrior, but because you made a conscious, noble choice not to become like them. You chose silence, not as an act of surrender, but as an act of profound faith, trusting that the universe itself would become your champion at the perfect moment. My dear, brave Aries, that moment is now. The one who tried to bring you to your knees, who saw the flickering of doubt in your eyes and chose to turn away, who perhaps even laughed at the pain you so carefully tried to hide. That person has been summoned by name, not in a human courtroom, where your passionate words could be twisted, and not in a whispered conversation, where your truth could be denied. No, they have been called to stand in a council where the soul is the only witness, and truth is the only language spoken. No evidence was needed, no testimony required, other than the silent, radiant presence of your unbroken spirit. And that, my friend, was more than enough. They once mistook your strategic silence for weakness. They thought your unwillingness to stoop to their level meant you didn't know how to fight. They truly believed that if they pushed you deep enough into the darkness, you would be lost forever. But what they failed to understand about the firstborn of the zodiac is that you were never lost. You carry the spark of creation within you. The light never, ever left you. And today, that light is accomplishing something you never dared to ask for. It is naming the one who cast you aside, not to punish them, but to show them and the entire universe that you cannot bury a soul born of cosmic fire. In many spiritual traditions, masters have chosen silence in the face of false accusations. They did this not because they lacked a defense, but because they understood that the universal law of energetic return needs no human justification. Every action, Every intention carries within it the seed of its own consequence. The divine does not need to explain its workings. It simply brings forth the light, and that light illuminates everything that has been hidden in the shadows. You don't need to win a trial in a game where the rules were rigged against you. You don't need to justify your feelings in a relationship that was built on pretense. You only needed to do one thing, Aries: keep your soul's fire pure and unchanged. And that singular act of courage has become the most powerful testimony before all the unseen forces of this universe. Someone once believed they could extinguish your flame. They thought a few cold words, a calculated denial, or a deliberately turned back would be enough to erase your presence. But here's what they didn't know. Each time you felt yourself stumble, your ancestors gathered around you, lighting a symbolic candle to bolster your strength. Each time you swallowed your pride and chose the high road, the universe inscribed another line in the great book of cosmic justice. Each time you chose forgiveness when vengeance would have been easier, a guardian of light was summoned to stand by your side. You are not alone, and you no longer have to fight this battle, because now the light itself stands with you. Not through force, not through angry words, but through a presence so pure and so powerful that even the shadows themselves tremble before it. Even as you remain in dignified silence, pause for a moment, Aries. Take a deep, intentional breath. Feel the subtle yet undeniable shift in the energy around you. You don't have to push or resist anymore, because today, someone else is trembling. Not you, but the one who once foolishly believed they held your destiny in their hands. The one who walked out of that celestial meeting with tears they couldn't control. And you might wonder, do they finally feel regret? No, my dear. It's not regret they feel. It is a primal fear. It is the terror of a soul that has just felt what you once did. That feeling of being seen right through, of being left behind in a space where no one believes your story anymore. That feeling of having nowhere to turn, because even the light itself has turned its face away from you. You once forgave them, and they never even knew the strength it took. You may have even prayed for them while they were still causing you pain. But now, you are free. You don't need to be better to be worthy. You only ever needed to be who you truly are, and that alone was enough for the light to choose you as one of its own to protect. If there is one thing you should affirm for yourself today, let it be this: I forgave, not because they deserved it, but because my soul deserved peace. You will see that this kind of power is what makes the universe convene a council on your behalf. If you have ever forgiven someone who never acknowledged your grace, write it down as a sacred truth. I forgave in silence, and the universe saw it all. And if you're asking yourself what those tears truly signify, I will show you in our final part. It wasn't repentance. It was a spiritual rupture, a truth so profound it left a soul with nowhere left to hide. Stay with me, because the next part is when the light begins to act, not as a gentle intuition, but as an unstoppable force of justice, where your name is finally restored in the most sacred light imaginable. There are truths so profound, Aries, that they require no defense from you. No more knocking on closed doors. No more desperate explanations. No more searching for validation. Because when a light as true as yours remains steadfast long enough, it inevitably reveals everything that must be seen. Today is not a day for you to fight. Today is the day your soul is honored for the incredible grace you carried through the darkest of times. You used to wonder, was I too weak? Should I have fought back harder? But the ultimate truth is this: only the strongest souls can choose compassion over retaliation. Only those with a core of pure steel can remain whole when others wished for their collapse. You are not weak. You are a force of nature, and the shallow world simply could not comprehend your depth. The person who hurt you never looked back, but you did not chain yourself to waiting for their return. You did not demand an apology to begin your healing. You made the courageous choice to let go in the quiet sanctuary of your own heart. And from that very moment, the wheels of cosmic justice began to turn. It is said that those who sow goodness will reap goodness. If not today, then on a day when the harvest is perfectly ripened. You, my dear Aries, planted seeds of courage, passion, and forgiveness in a land that was barren of reciprocity. And today, those seeds are blooming into a magnificent garden, not to prove that you were right, but to prove that the light of the universe never abandons a soul that lives in truth. You have been attacked so many times, not with fists, but with weapons far more insidious: cold words, indifferent stares, and silences that cut deeper than any blade. They didn't have to scream at you, they only had to stop seeing you, and you felt the wound deep within. And then you did something extraordinary. You went quiet. You walked out of those emotionally frozen rooms without slamming the door, without shouting your pain. You simply bowed your head, took a breath, and kept moving. No one knew the vast emptiness you felt in that moment, but still, you kept going. You still showed up. You still loved. You still burned with a gentle warmth for a world that had shown you its coldness. You once thought you had lost everything: your faith, your self-worth, the people you thought would be your allies. But there is one thing you never ever lost, not even for a second: your heart. A heart that, even when broken into 1,000 pieces, never stopped beating with the rhythm of love, of hope, of forgiveness. That, my beautiful Aries, is what makes you utterly undefeatable. Today, you don't need an apology to be whole. You don't need anyone to return, because you have already risen, empowered by your own patience, your own light, and your unwavering faith, not in people, but in the sacred justice of the cosmos. And that time is now. You no longer need to stand in any courtroom, because your own brilliant light is standing in your place. And they, the ones who once celebrated their perceived victory, are beginning to tremble. Just close your eyes for a moment. Pause and see yourself, still whole, still fiery, still you, even after everything. Their sharp words did not cut you, because you were wrapped in an invisible armor of divine protection, forged by your ancestors, by the divine, and by every soul who has ever truly seen your light without needing you to explain it. So why are they crying now? The one who turned away, the one who smiled as you fell, now walks in silence with tears in their eyes. Not because they regret it, not because they miss you, but because they know the truth has risen. And that truth is you. The soul they once dismissed is now fully restored by the light. And that light is shining into the darkest corners of their own being. They can no longer hide, because your light doesn't need to raise a hand. It only needs to be, and everything not built on truth will crumble in its presence. If you have ever forgiven and received nothing in return, let this be your final, quiet affirmation. The light never left me, it was forging me. And if you are still here, Still listening? Then you are ready for the final truth. You are ready to see how light can restore justice without touching a single soul. Are you ready? Walk with me into this final, glorious revelation, where you will understand that your fire, when tempered with grace, can make even the strongest bow their heads in awe. Not because you seek vengeance, but because you have grown too magnificent to ever be wounded again. You once thought you were the one left behind, Aries, the one standing at the end of the line after all the others had been chosen. But the truth is, you were not left behind. You were held back by the universe, by your guides, by the divine itself, to become the one strong enough, the one brave enough to bring a new kind of light back into this world. The ones who once thought they controlled your destiny have had to walk away in silence and tears, not because you defeated them, but because they can no longer touch your soul. They no longer have the right to define you, to make you doubt your worth, or to drag you back into a past you have already transmuted into gold. It is said that the last shall be first, but for you, the first sign of the zodiac, the prophecy is different. The first shall be the one to begin anew. You are that prophecy come alive. You don't need to win an argument. You are a living, breathing truth. You need no apology, no return. You only need to remain whole in a world that tries to break everyone. Your ability to hold on to your fire is nothing short of a miracle. You are living proof of a soul that did not shatter even at the bottom of the abyss. So breathe gently now, my dear Aries, just one deep, peaceful breath, because you don't need light to be returned to you from anyone else. The light is surging from within you. The search is over. The fight is done. You have come home to yourself, and that is the greatest, most victorious journey of all. And if today you finally feel seen, even just for this one moment, write this down as your eternal truth. I am not invisible. I am the light. Thank you, brave soul, for walking through the storm without letting your beautiful fire turn to stone. May you, dear Aries, always cherish that magnificent light, because that very light is what makes the entire universe bow its head in reverence.